Chapter 4: Ethics and Professional Responsibilities. 2017 California Rules of Court. 1. Representation of Qualifications. An interpreter must accurately and completely represent his or her certifications, training, and relevant experience. 2. Complete and accurate interpretation. An interpreter must use his or her best skills and judgment to interpret accurately without embellishing, omitting, or editing. 3. Impartiality and avoidance of conflicts of interest. An interpreter must be impartial and unbiased and must refrain from conduct that may give an appearance of bias. An interpreter must disclose to the judge and to all parties any actual or apparent conflict of interests. An interpreter must not engage in conduct creating the appearance of bias, prejudice, or partiality. An interpreter must not make statements to any person about the merits of the case until the litigation has concluded. 4. Confidentiality of privileged communications. An interpreter must not disclose privileged communications between counsel and client to any person. 5. Giving legal advice. An interpreter must not give legal advice to parties and witnesses, nor recommend specific attorneys or law firms. 6. Impartial professional relationships. An interpreter must maintain an impartial professional relationship with all court officers, attorneys, jurors, parties, and witnesses. 7. Continuing education and duty to the profession. An interpreter, through continuing education, must maintain and improve his or her interpreting skills and knowledge of procedures used by the courts. 8. Assessing and reporting impediments to performance. If an interpreter has any reservation about his or her ability to satisfy an assignment competently, the interpreter must immediately disclose that reservation to the court or other appropriate authority. 9. Duty to report ethical violations. An interpreter must report to the court or other appropriate authority any effort to impede the interpreter's compliance with the law, this rule, or any other official policy governing court interpreting and legal translating.